Hi folks, Mike here. Today we're going to do a video on dehydrating our chicken's eggs. What I like to do before I start is, if they're in the fridge, bring them out, let them set and come to room temperature. Okay, before we get started cracking eggs, I like to preheat my dehydrator to around 135. I am going to be using this 8-cup measuring cup. So let's get busy liberating some eggs from their shells. Now, don't throw your eggshells away. You can rinse these off. You can set them out in the sun and let them dry. You can set them in a oven at low temp, like 180, 200 degrees. And when they get dry, you can crush them up. Even finer than this. This is our eggshells. And pretty soon I'll add those to either the composter, or you can add them straight into your garden soil. Now we're going to mix our eggs or blend them. You could use any of these. You just want to make sure that they get blended real well. You could use a hand whisk, a magic bullet, which I have used in the past, but it's kind of a pain and it's only good for smaller batches. A hand mixer, a blender, or a stand mixer with the whip attachment. Today I am going to use the hand mixer. I turned the dehydrator off for a second so I could point out that when you're dehydrating your eggs, you need a fruit leather tray, something with a lip that can hold your eggs in place. In other words, you'll have a big mess. I'll probably have a big mess anyway. I typically do. So here we are going to start filling our trays. That back on. Got to move slow. These trays on here are not very stable. They're not very level. Oops, made a mess. Again, okay, this will take anywhere from 8 to 24 hours. And in a little while, we'll be back and we'll check and see how they're doing. And then we'll probably have to start flipping over the thicker clumps. Okay, we have them in the dehydrator. It is 10 o'clock in the morning right now. Dehydrator set at 135. All right, guys, it's been 4 hours. It's now 2 o'clock. Let's see how these are doing. You can see on this top shelf, making a little progress. Second shelf as well. All right, guys, it's now 10 o'clock. We've reached the 12-hour mark. So I'll do one tray on film. Take the tray out, and we'll have to kind of get it to flip, get the wet stuff in the middle turned over so it can get air to the wet side. Kind of messy, kind of sticky. I know it doesn't look appetizing, but it does work. When this is all done and over with, I'll take eggs that I made or dehydrated, I think in 2015. and I will cook some up and show you what they look like. All right, I'm gonna get this back in the dehydrator. Get that on there. Get this back in the dehydrator and we'll check on it in the morning. Turn the dehydrator back on. Okay, 8:30 the next morning. What's that, 10.5 hours into it. Still have a thick area on this one. There's one on the other one, so we'll just continue to let it run. Back at it. Been now 11 hours, 45 minutes. Take our trays out. See, they're nice and golden yellow. Put them into this baking pan. Okay. One more. Clean those up later. Now we'll get these into a container to help, or so that it'll make it a little bit easier to start breaking them down. Start scrunching that. We're going to use this magic bullet with a designated cup I use for all of my grinding. Okay, now that we have them ground, or dried and ground, let's see what we wound up with. We started out with 5.5 cups. We have 3 cups. Okay, so we have our jars, our eggs, have the food saver with the largemouth jar attachment. So we will load our jars. I will add an oxygen absorber, and then I will seal them for long-term storage. Also, before you put your lids on, you want to make sure that you wipe the edges of your jars. Make sure there's no debris on there that could prevent a seal. Make sure you put the date on them so you can keep track of when they entered your rotation. Oop, 23, 22. Okay, if you can see that, these were dehydrated, put away almost exactly 7 years ago, 2015. The ratio is 1 tablespoon, it was 1 to 3, whatever amount you're making. 1 part eggs, 3 parts water. Now we'll let these set for 5 minutes so that they can rehydrate. Okay, been 5 minutes. Give her a quick stir, and I'll heat up a pan and we'll cook this up, see how it is. Okay, we got the pan heated up. Gonna put a little no stick spray in there. Add our egg. And it's a little runnier than a typical egg. Looks like a little scramble going on there. These are also good to be used. Once you rehydrate them, you could use those in cake mixes, cookie recipes, whatever you'd normally use an egg in. You cook them however you want, except for sunny side up, or probably hard boiled. All right, let's give this thing a taste test. A little bite going here. Steaming hot. Wow. It's got the same texture as an egg that you cracked out of the shell. Probably would have been a little better with some salt and pepper. That's really good. I hope you guys give this a try. Be a great way to extend your eggs instead of from months to years. Thank you for watching. Till next time.